not many people from Liverpool that have won Wimbledon. I've won it twice, and I haven't really thought about it that much. You don't get time to kind of celebrate and think of your achievements, because if you do, then you're taking your focus off the next match, and that's when you get into a bit of trouble.
Will Cambri come over with you, do you reckon?
She got no choice. She better. Yeah, that's the plan. So
you just heard it now.
If not, then
if she didn't know before,
yeah,
she
you're
knows
in trouble
now.
when you get
exactly. Yeah.
For the first 5 minutes of the warm-up, I didn't know what was going on. I was just
So
looking around.
in a dream.
Yeah.
I've got a sad story about Andy Murray.
What have you done now?
Yeah, exactly. What have I done now?
Have you got a purple bin?
Have you got a purple bin?
Yeah, have you got a purple bin?
In Scotland?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The level of the sport in doubles, anybody at the top probably 30 in the world, they can get to probably number 1 in the world. It's just being consistent. But I think me and Wes, we match very well on and off the court. A few tweaks here and there, I think we can get across the line at the Grand Slam.
Welcome back to the Scouse Code with Bianca Cook and Paul Garrity. In this episode, we're in Knowsley on Merseyside as we meet a tennis Grand Slam champion. Liverpool's Neal Skupski has back-to-back Wimbledon titles, having conquered the mixed doubles in 2021 and 2022. At the time of recording, he's also joint world number 1 with his doubles partner Wesley Koolhof. Bianca and I caught up with him on a rare stay on Merseyside as Skupski gears up for Wimbledon 2023. So let's hear how this Scouser rose to the top of the tennis world.
So, welcome to the podcast. Are you excited about this one?
Yeah, certainly am. You've been trying to get me on for a couple of weeks now, so yeah.
We finally
Glad
got
to
you.
be
Yeah,
here.
exactly. It's been many messages.
I threatened up and
It's one of those things, isn't it? Where, they talk about it in the Welcome to Wrexham documentary, saying about sliding into somebody's DMs and what have you. And I slid into your DMs, and you must have been going, "What's this guy?
Who's this
guy? Who's this guy? What's he thinking? A Scouse podcast? What's this going on?" Well, welcome, Neal. Welcome to this. This is one of your places where you train, isn't it? Tell us about where we are at the moment.
Yeah, so we're in David Lloydd, Knowsley. Been practicing here for probably 2 years now. It's great facilities. Get to use the gym here. Core time as much as I want. And it's not too far from where I live, 10-15 minutes away, and it's easy.
I actually did not know this was here, by the way.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I'm actually going to be coming and starting doing a few sessions.
Oh, great.
Yeah, see you on the court, eh?
Yeah, because I used to go to the Liverpool Academy quite a bit, for obviously my previous job at Radio Merseyside. So I knew this place existed, but this is obviously the first time I've been here. You're on the road a lot during your career. How often do you actually get to train in facilities like this back home in Liverpool?
Yeah, not often. Probably the main time is during like the off season. That's normally end of November, start of December before Christmas and going out to Australia. But I'm probably away from Liverpool for 35 weeks of the year, playing tournaments or doing other bits. And then, coming in and out probably 10 weeks a year, which is not a lot to kind of be working on your game. But it also depends on how well you're doing in tournaments. If you're not doing so well, you can
Come home.
be there for a couple of days and you'll be home on the Tuesday after losing on the Monday. So it kind of depends on how you're doing, but most of the time...
What you're saying is the dream is you're never home.
Yeah.
Well, that would
the
be
more
nice,
weeks, the better.
Yeah. But I mean, obviously it's nice to come home and see the family and everything. And obviously...
I could never think I was away for 35 weeks, like with our sport.
Yeah.
Training in different gyms, different facilities. You feel like you get set into at home. This is where I train every day. So it must have been like crazy to get into that routine at the start.
Yeah, it does take a while. I started on the tour in 2013 after coming out of college, so it does take time to get used to different kind of tournaments and jet lag and just living out of a suitcase basically all the time. And it is strange at first, but you do get used to it, and it is part of your job. So it probably took me about 1 or 2 years to kind of settle down and get into the tour. But it obviously helped playing with my brother for the first few years to kind of, he'd been on the tour for 5-6 years before me, so he kind of led me, and I followed in his footsteps.
We'll talk about your relationship with your brother Ken a little bit later on in the podcast. But to give the audience a bit of an overview of who you are, because even though you've done an awful lot in your career, maybe people on Merseyside and beyond probably don't know your record because doubles.
They should.
Yeah, they should. But the thing is, we spoke about this pre-podcast, and doubles isn't exactly on the television a lot. It's not publicised a lot. We'll talk about that as well. But to give you a bit of a
big hype up right now.
Absolutely.
Best do this. Come on, hype them up.
Absolutely. Two Grand Slam titles. So you've won Wimbledon mixed doubles twice in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
With your partner. Give us an overview of your partner as well. Let's not forget her.
Desiree Kravchuk.
Yeah,
you want me to say
basically say the name because you couldn't pronounce it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So basically, she went through the same system as me. She went to university in America, Arizona State. Went to play doubles pretty early on in her career, and she's I think top 20 in the world now. She's multiple Grand Slam winner, won a couple of times with Joe Salisbury as well. But yeah, it's always nice to win Wimbledon more than once.
And at the moment, at the recording of this podcast, you're joint world number one with your male partner as well,
So
in
he's
Wesley.
big time.
Yeah, exactly. So you've done that. You've got 3 Masters 1000 titles. Is that right?
That's correct.
I'm making sure I've got my
that's
stats right
correct,
here. 13 ATP Tour titles.
Yeah.
See, I'm not bad at this.
This is good. This is a
exactly.
record.
You've won countless futures and challenges. You've been to an Olympics as well, which was in Tokyo. A regular in the Great Britain Davis Cup team. And the biggest achievement of all is that you're a scouser.
I thought you were going to say be on this podcast. Yes. Exactly.
And you're a scouser as well whilst you're doing all of that. So when you look at your record, people need to know who Neal Skupski is. Surely.
100%. Yeah, like the record that you've got is incredible. You're world number one. You're the champion. You've won Wimbledon twice alone. Just that alone is like top level. So the recognition that you get compared to the people in singles is low, and it's not the same, and it is unfair, but it's just the way sport is, and it's horrible, isn't it? But we and everyone listening, I definitely think that you deserve more recognition for what you've got.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, doubles is not seen as a major sport. It's obviously the singles guys that get a lot of the attention, which is right. I mean, they're the ones that kind of sell most of the tickets when people go to Wimbledon. They want to go watch an Andy Murray or Rafael Nadal. They don't really want to go watch the doubles guys. But if the doubles guys weren't there, there'd be nothing really to watch on the outside courts. A lot of people go to Wimbledon, sit on Hemming Hill and enjoy the day out, drink their Pims and have their strawberries and strawberries and cream. So it's we are kind of important in the tennis environment, and people want to see a product, and I think we put on a great show when we do play.
Do you reckon that's because of, as a singles player, you can show your character off yourself, you can be yourself on the court, and you get to learn about that person and watch them grow? Do you reckon it's because it's individual that it's hard for doubles, or do you think it's just the way the game is?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I think the way the game's set up is singles, the points are a lot longer, so there's more kind of emotion and intensity. Doubles, it's a bit more fast. The points are a lot shorter. It could just be a serve and then the ball's put away with a volley. And you can't really get too hyped up about winning that point. It's like, oh yeah, it's just a serve and volley and that was it. With the singles, you can kind of build up to the end of the point, like a long rally and then some amazing shot by like Carlos Alcaraz now. These days, he's one of the best in the world, if not the best at the moment. But you can just tell by his passion, Nadal in the past. Fans love people like that, and I think it's just a little bit difficult for doubles guys to kind of show the passion because the points are so short.
You can let your character out, can't you?
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen that, so definitely.
Yeah.
What's it like? I mean, I've always wondered this, and you probably asked about it all the time. What's it like playing at Wimbledon centre court? What's that like?
First
Is
time
it what it is, or?
it was amazing. Yeah, it is amazing. The first time was in the quarterfinals of the mixed doubles last year, 2021, when me and Des won it the first time. Just walking onto centre court I was so nervous. I was sweating before going onto the court. For the first 5 minutes of the warm up, I didn't know what was going on. I was just
So
looking around
in a dream.
Yeah. I mean, looking at the royal box, and then you're just looking at the side and seeing my family and my coaches there. It was just kind of settled me down after I won the first game, a held serve, and then the rest was kind of history. It's I mean, to play centre court at Wimbledon is kind of a dream. Doubles guys don't get to do that often. So yeah, every time I get to play on it, it is very special. And I've got to play on it 3 times now, and I'll never forget. Yeah,
that's awesome. But also, as well, to win Wimbledon as well.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up as a kid, I remember, in like 1992 watching Andre Agassi.
Yeah.
Probably shows a bit of my age, actually.
1992.
1992, yeah. Watching Andre Agassi, and they were my early memories. Being a 10-year-old watching, Andre Agassi playing, and then watching the Tim Henman era, and then seeing what Andy Murray's done. But for you, when you started watching tennis, did you actually dream that you would want to win that tournament? Is that a thing that you actually thought about?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're growing up as a kid and you're playing the sport of tennis, you want to win Wimbledon. Especially when I'd come home from school. That's the first thing I'd do. I'd turn the TV on and try and watch Wimbledon. At a young age, you don't really know about the ATP Tour and the other Grand Slams. Everyone just kind of seems to watch Wimbledon, especially in England.
That's your home games,
yeah,
isn't it? So.
Like in England, people only watch tennis for probably 3-4 weeks of the year. You've got Queen's, and then you've got like Eastbourne, and then they watch Wimbledon. But yeah, growing up, it was kind of like, I want to win Wimbledon. I never thought about playing doubles because you don't really see doubles on the TV, so you didn't think it kind of existed.
Yes.
But then as obviously time went on, I went to college in the States, and my brother came out of college and did very well on the tour. So he started playing on the professional tour, and he was playing Wimbledon. I was like, wow, that's an achievement. And then when I come out of college to play Wimbledon for the first time with my brother was incredible. We didn't win that day, but I'll never forget that day. I was more nervous that day than actually playing it on centre court.
Oh, really?
Like a spark, really,
yeah,
isn't it?
it's like, wow, I'm kind of, I've made it now.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, it is special, and it was something I wanted to do, was play Wimbledon, but I never thought it would be playing doubles and obviously winning it.
I mean, I can only imagine. I mean, for you, your goal has always been to go to the Olympics and win the gold medal. That's kind of your equivalent, I would have thought, isn't it?
Yeah, like it would be exactly what you've just said. Like I used to only know tennis for Wimbledon, so like to win that and be at that level, and that seems like it's the pinnacle, especially because we're from Britain. Do you know what I mean? I feel like if you was living in America, you'd be like, oh, I want to win the US Open. So that is like the home. But like you said, for me, it's an Olympic Games. It's winning gold on the Olympic Games, and if it was in London, it would be like the ultimate dream. Do you know what I mean? So. But yeah, still waiting.
Still waiting, yeah. And one of the other things as well is the remarkable thing about your career is that it's really only in the last few years it's taken off. Why do you think it is over the last couple of years that you've taken? Is it because you've matured and you can see
physical
the game better?
Peak, that's
physical
what it is.
peak. Is it you've just because it's doubles? Is it finding the right partner? You kind of you're with different people and it just clicks. What do you think is the secret sauce to what you're doing?
Is this where I say I got rid of my brother part? Or no, I think it's just maturity.
Poor
I think.
Ken.
Yeah. No, I think it's just a lot of the time when doubles guys get good is when obviously they get older. I think peak singles guys is probably like 27, 28. Doubles, it's not till you're like 32, 33 is when you're kind of in your peak, which I am now. So yeah, it was a bit coincidental that I finished with my brother when he, probably about 4 years ago, started playing with Jamie Murray. We played together for like 18 months. And then I played a few times with Daniel Evans. I did very well. We made a couple of Masters finals together. And then that's when I kind of figured out I could be pretty good at this. My ranking was going up more and more. And then because I was playing with Dan, it was more like I was playing with a singles guy. And it wasn't that stable because he was focusing more on singles. I wasn't practicing with my normal doubles partner, like because Dan was focused on his singles. So I wanted a more stable partnership. So then Wesley Koolhof came to me at the end of 2021. He was looking for a partner. He's the same age as me. We kind of took the same path, and we kind of had the same goals. We wanted to get to the top of the sport, and we're very similar on and off the court. Quite quiet, but very passionate when we play. So that's kind of clicked, and it clicked from kind of ball one in Australia last year in 2021 when 2022, get mixed up now, when we won our first two tournaments together it kind of settled us down because doubles is like a marriage. I mean, it's you
All
kind
or
of
nothing, eh?
you kind of you're living with them 24/7, practicing with them in the morning, playing matches, and then going to dinner together. So you gotta get along, and if you don't get along, then the next guy will come in and he'll take you away, and you'll play with him. So yeah, it's worked out well with Wes, and we're still learning. Even though we've been playing together nearly 18 months now, it's still kind of growing. It's hopefully we can continue.
The thing that I find fascinating about it, to talk about, you say it's a marriage, you've got to be good friends and all the rest of it. When you consider the amount of people that play tennis, the amount of people that play doubles, you and Wesley are top of the league. You're number
You'd
one.
go for that one though, wouldn't you? You'd be like, let's take the best.
Exactly. I find that I find it absolutely fascinating that, it just so happened that he was like, he needed a doubles partner, you needed a doubles partner, and then you go to the top of the sport. That's the stuff dreams are made of.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think the level of the sport in doubles, the margins are so small. I think anybody at the top, probably 30 in the world, they can get to probably number one in the world. It's just being consistent. They have the game to be at the top. But I think me and Wes, we've settled down very early on in our partnership. And I think we match very well on and off the court. He seems to he has a good serve, which helps me because I'm very good around the net. And then he has very obviously good returns. So we kind of match up very well, and we're still learning, and there's still things we need to improve on and off the court, but it seems to be going very well, and hopefully we can continue and getting better, but you never know. Sometimes in a few weeks' time we might fall out. Hopefully not.
Yeah, it's normal, yeah.
We haven't had our first argument yet, so
should have hit the ball. Yeah, it's too clean now.
But it's been going very well for us, so we haven't really needed to have an argument or a disagreement over some type of tactics or plays, scheduling. You've all got to kind of align and be on the same page. But at the moment, it's been going very well, and hopefully it's kind of continues.
Speaking about like tactics, you have like secret ones, and I see when I'm watching like doubles and that, you all come up and like talk and be like, let's do weapon number one, weapon number two. Do you have like secret moves? I
wouldn't say like secret moves.
Tactics.
Yeah, I mean we obviously do tactics that works for us.
Yeah.
A lot of people, like a lot of doubles guys, they serve volley. We serve volley. We'll serve and stay back sometimes because we have good ground strokes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all different things. Tactics will change on the opponents that we play. We'll scout the opponents the night before. We'll watch previous videos of them, and we'll see stats on where they serve, where they return, what they're good at, what they're not good at. And I think that we're one of the teams that look into that a lot more than others. I think that's probably why we're at the top of the game. And the LTA, I've got to shout out to them because they have an analysis team that they stat doubles matches, and then they get all the stats to help us doubles guys to win matches in the future. So they do put a lot of work in, and it definitely pays off for the doubles guys.
Well, like you said, you're doing them 1% that you need to push yourself to be the champion, and that's why you're at the top. It's not just because it's working well or it's okay. You're putting in the work. But next time, can you have a special combo next time you do it? And then I'll just be like, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, when we go to our next tournament, we'll work on our finishing move.
Deal. I'll be watching out now.
Yeah, honestly, setting the bar
spin
high.
Ball and everything.
Look, I mean, one of the things I was doing, I was looking through some of the results that you've had, and as I say, it's quite remarkable. 2022, 2021, 2020. So you got to quarterfinals of the Australian Open twice. You've got through to the French Open quarterfinals twice. This is all in the men's doubles in 2020, 2022, and the US Open. You got to the final last year. Yeah. I was pretty gutted you didn't win that actually. But it's kind of. You look at those results there, and even in the mixed doubles as well. Australian Open semi-finals twice, quarterfinals of the French Open twice, and the quarterfinal of the US Open as well. Is that consistency is unbelievable? Is that hard to achieve, or is it just built into you to be that way?
No, I think it is hard to kind of get to that point. But I think you just learn that over time. I think it's the more experience you get in them situations, you kind of settle down. You're not as nervous. I think with the mixed doubles, you go into it not knowing what's going to happen, because anything's possible, because you don't play with the partner every week in, week out like I do with Wesley.
Yeah.
Like if I played with Desiree this year, I'd only play with her 4 times in the year, so you don't really sit down and do tactics. It's kind of like slide into someone's DMs, say, do you want to play?
Wing the whole thing.
Yeah, and then you walking onto court. It could be the first time you play together, or kind of speak sometimes.
It's a lot of trust.
Yeah, it is. I mean, sometimes a lot of when you do play mixed doubles, some of the people, they sign up for it and then they lose in men's doubles or women's doubles and they just want to go home. So they'll pull out to the mixed, which I don't mind, because I take the mixed very seriously, because it's another opportunity to win a Grand Slam.
Yeah.
It doesn't come around very often, and it is special to play them events. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the future.
All I thought then was, if you're in it, you're in it. Like, even if
Yeah.
you lost, you've got to win this competition. So.
But you're talking about some of your doubles partners and what have you. And I was going through a list of them. Obviously, one of the biggest ones you had was your brother Ken.
Yeah.
You know, that's where you kind of started. You've had Jamie Murray. Did you play with Andy Murray at all in doubles for Davis Cup?
No.
So you've never played with Andy.
No.
All right, Andy, you need to step up your game here, lad. You've got Joe Salisbury, Dan Evans, and obviously Krawczyk.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, you know, you look at those people. If outside of that, have there been any others that, you know, are notable names that you've played with? Because it seems as though even in the ATP era, if you like, in that top, you know, you haven't had that many, really.
No, I haven't had that many. I've been lucky because I obviously had my brother. I played with him for, I think, 6 or 7 years. I didn't have to look for anybody, which was a nice thing. He kind of showed me the way. He taught me a lot of things, kind of coached me to where I am today. But I mean, John Isner, I played with him. He's 6'10".
Yes.
Massive serve, which so it's a nice person to play with. Very easy. And like one of the other guys would be Jack Sock. Played with him at the US Open.
Big serve.
And yeah, it was unfortunate. He got injured in the singles versus Zverev the night before. So in our second round match, he had to pull out, which is quite disappointing. I thought we could go a very long way in the tournament, but it is what it is with sport. People get injured and you just can't really plan for that.
Anyone that you would want to pick and like a dream player to play with?
Well, I would say Roger Federer, but it's too late now. He's retired.
Come back.
Try and get him for one more week.
Yeah.
But probably at the moment, Nadal would be another guy. Just
the legends.
Yeah, he's amazing. I mean, if he played, for me, he'd probably be the number 1 in the world. If he played week in, week out. Doubles, he's an incredible fighter, unbelievable role model for anyone in the sport, and everyone looks up to him. So I think it would have to be Rafael Nadal as my partner.
Just to wrap up this as well, as I say, you're double Wimbledon champion now in the mixed doubles. I just love that.
Can I repeat that? That was good.
I absolutely love it.
He likes us saying it as well.
Say it again.
I do. As I say, that 10-year-old me is just like going double Wimbledon. By the way, do you get like a members badge and all the rest of it for winning the mixed doubles?
No, you don't.
Entry? You don't.
But
any freebies?
I did become a member of Wimbledon in December this year.
Yeah, so it's like an honorary thing, was it, or something? What was
it wasn't to do with winning the mixed doubles. It was kind of, you have to apply.
Oh, okay.
I waited a few years to get it, but I finally got it, and it's a nice thing. So
it's almost like a royal seal of approval.
Yeah. So if you ever want to come and play on the grass, let me know. Yeah.
Right, he said it now. We've got this on proof.
One of the things I was thinking about beforehand. Did you play tennis when you were a kid?
I've played. I wouldn't say played it when I was a kid. But
no, I remember I played it once, and when I hit the ball, it was going up. So I could do with basic training. So if you're free, you know, I mean, after we've done this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I reckon I've got a good serve. That's it.
Yeah,
I've
got
got a good
height
serve.
for it,
Got the
yeah.
height. So I'm like, boom.
Yeah, I just need a total overhaul. I need to go back to beginners training. That's right.
Yeah, you're probably better at baseball, aren't you, if you're hitting it out the park?
Yeah, exactly. I can whack it one. Yeah, exactly. But just to round off this part of the podcast, you're not the first person to obviously from this area of the world to win Wimbledon titles. I was looking through some stats, and we got Charlotte Dodd, who was born in 1871. Okay. Won 5 Wimbledon titles. Born in Bebington, apparently. By the way, if any
these singles titles?
Singles titles.
Okay.
If any historian is watching this and going, he's wrong.
Yeah.
Look,
just tell him
these are not. I haven't gone massively in depth in this, but it's kind of like. And then we've got Max Woosnam, born in 1892. doubles champion, born in Liverpool. Then you've got Jonathan Murray, 2012.
Yeah. He lives in Sheffield, so...
He lives in Sheffield, but apparently he was born...
he's from Sheffield.
Apparently
no, he's a big Liverpool fan as well.
Exactly, yeah. So won that in 2012, men's doubles. And then apparently Fred Perry, even though he was born in Stockport, grew up in Wallasey.
Huh?
So, and he's obviously the legend, 10 Grand Slams, I think it is, and 3 Wimbledon titles. And then even though those are the people who've won titles and stuff at Wimbledon, for me, I remember it very well. A notable mention for Barry Cowan.
Bazzy, yeah.
Yeah, taking Pete Sampras to 5 sets in 2001 on
Listen to You'll Never Walk Alone.
Correct.
The change of ends.
Correct. What a legend he actually is there.
I'll have to watch that one.
Have you, yeah, so you've got to watch the highlights of that one. It's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, so when you're in that sort of company, it's a very short list. Does that make you proud?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's not many people from Liverpool that have won Wimbledon. Not many people from, obviously, Britain that have won Wimbledon.
I was going to say, there's not many people who have won Wimbledon, let alone from Liverpool.
It is very special, and it is nice, but you don't really... Like, I've won it twice, and I haven't really thought about it that much. It kind of... Because the season is week to week, it's so back-to-back, you don't really get time to think about it. So maybe when I do retire down the road, I'll probably look back and think it was an amazing achievement. But yeah, at the moment, it's just another tournament, and it's just like I haven't had time to kind of celebrate it yet. So when I do get to celebrate it with obviously the family, it will be nice.
I think, like you said, like as an athlete though, and you're still competing, you're still fighting. I always say fighting that way, but yeah, like you don't really realise what you're doing because you're in the motions. Your aim is to go to the next one and do it again and get better in training the next session. So it's you don't really step back and think, oh, I've done quite well there until we are going to finish or when you finish, because you're still on the train, you're still going, you haven't stopped yet. So.
Yeah, I mean, especially in tennis, it's probably, you can play probably 40 weeks of the year, and the finals are always normally on a Sunday, the next tournament's on the Monday, so it's you don't have time to celebrate. So you play on the Sunday, you'll ask for a late start. The latest start you can get is a Wednesday, so you'll probably travel on the Monday, not practice that day, practice on the Tuesday, and then you're playing on the Wednesday. So it's straight, it's so constant. You don't get time to kind of celebrate and think of your achievements, because if you do, then you're taking your focus off the next match, and that's when you get into a bit of trouble.
Yeah.
You know me, I'd be sitting there all the time going, I'm double Wimbledon champion. So, yeah, good job you're not like me, isn't it?
Nah, exactly, yeah.
So we talk about all the achievements that you've had so far, and there's a long list of them, and it's a good job we were able to just try and fit them all in, really, at the end of the day. But you grew up in Liverpool. Tell us which area of Liverpool you grew up in.
Yeah, so I grew up in Allerton, basically at the back of Palmerston Tennis Club. Basically, that's how I got into playing tennis. So at a very young age, 3 years old, picking up a racket, going through the garden, through the back gate, and there was 6 tennis courts there.
So you can literally just walk out the back gate?
It's right there. So it's right, it's so easy, convenient. My brother's 6.5 years older than me, so got to play with him, play with my dad. And people got to know me, obviously, at the tennis club at a very young age, so they'd play with me every time I walk around. Rather than hitting them in the leg with the racket, they'd rather throw me a tennis ball and I'd hit it over the net.
Oh, that's quality. Yeah. Right there on your back doorstep.
Yeah, it's quite
It was
unique.
meant to be, wasn't it? It was meant to be.
Exactly, I had no choice.
Because there wasn't like a Taekwondo mat at the back of you.
No, I just learned how to fight, that's why I was. And then got into it and had to discipline myself.
Exactly, yeah, you didn't mess with Bianca when she was a kid, obviously. But the thing is, you talk about your upbringing. Did you have any kind of sporting people in your family? I mean, obviously your brother, but in terms of your mum and dad, did they take part in any sports? Was it inbred in you to be that way? Yeah,
so I don't think my mum played. My mum played maybe social tennis. Okay. My dad played semi-professional football. He was a goalkeeper for, I think, Aston Villa, Stoke, Tranmere.
That's big time.
Yeah, and a few others. But then he got injured pretty bad. He broke his arm, so that kind of stopped his career from going forward. I think he was like the reserve keeper for, I think Gordon Banks was the main guy at Stoke, really? I think it was. Okay. I could be wrong, but
there you go.
I'm just making things up now.
Making these facts again.
We'll
fact check.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's kind of where it all went. And then he started playing socially tennis. Obviously, moved into the house next to Palmerston Tennis Club, and kind of got my brother playing. And then kind of I was the one next to kind of get on the tennis courts, and it's been like that ever since.
How big of an influence did Ken have on your career? Because younger siblings always look up to their older siblings. Did you just copy him and want to be like him?
Yeah, basically. I mean, he was a very good junior. He made the quarterfinals of Junior Wimbledon in singles when he was younger. That's where he kind of got recruited by Louisiana State University to get a scholarship to go over there. And yeah, that's basically what I wanted to do in the end. I made sure that I got all my grades in high school, at King David High School, and then I got offered a scholarship, followed him, and then I saw him go on to obviously the tour, have a lot of success, win tournaments, and then just see it was possible to kind of win at that level. That gave me a lot of confidence. And then yeah, he's helped me out ever since. We played together for 6 years, as I've said earlier on, and yeah, he just kind of taught me all what he knows, and and now he's retired last year at Wimbledon, and now he's traveling with me as my coach. So I kind of have to listen to him non-stop now. So
still in the family then.
Yeah. So I mean, when we first started playing together, there was a lot of arguments. I thought I knew everything about tennis. He was the kind of the coach of the team. But now, as I said, he's the coach, and I've got to kind of listen to him.
Yeah, you've got to listen to him now.
Yeah, exactly.
Do what you said.
But early on in your career, you say he's your coach now, sort of thing, and you have to listen to him. Yeah. What was it like playing with him for all those years? Because you went pro. What was it, 2013? Is that when you started playing on the tour with him?
Yeah, so I basically came out of college in 2012. I got injured at my last match in college. I rolled my ankle pretty bad, so I was out for probably 5 months. But then I was able to just kind of focus on finish off my degree over there. But then in the January, I came out of college, went pro, but I didn't go pro with him straight away. I probably played 2 months. I tried to play singles a little bit. That didn't work out very well. I mean, I did okay, but not to the level I wanted to be making a lot of ranking points and making a lot of money. And the opportunity to kind of play with my brother came about because he had just finished with his doubles partner, Jamie Delgado. So Ken was probably around 70, 80 in the world in doubles in the rankings.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And I was 900.
Yeah.
So the opportunity to kind of play together, he came down to the lower tier level of professional tennis.
What a guy.
I know, yeah. So
he's his brother, like.
Yeah.
He put a lot of faith in me to kind of play with me, because he was missing out on some big events to play with me. But we managed to win a lot of futures events. We won, I think, 3 or 4 challenger events in the first year, and we made it our first final in my first ATP 250 event in Russia at the end of the year. By the end of the year, I was, I think, 80 in the world. So we had changed from not having a ranking to being 80 in the world in a year. So then we can kind of play at the top events together.
You have to build it up.
Yeah. So from 2014, we could play all the big events. So yeah, it worked out very well, and I have a lot to thank for Ken for getting me where
absolutely.
I am. And we're still doing it now. We're still traveling together, still enjoying the world, and it's
still a team.
Yeah, it's still great.
You still got more to come as well.
But as kids, were you both competitive? Were you both competing against each other as kids? I'm always interested, because you get on so well now.
Yeah.
Was it that competitive nature when you were kids as well? Because I suppose there was 6 years between.
Yeah, there was 6 years in between, but we didn't fight.
Oh, I did. I used to fight with all man.
That's probably why you play Taekwondo. I play tennis.
Yeah. My older brother used to make us fight each other, put one of us in one corner and then the other. So use a nice siblings.
I mean, it was, I think, closer to when I was in college and he was finishing. That's when it got a little bit more competitive, because I was kind of trying to take tennis more seriously.
Yeah.
And he was very good at the time, so I was trying to be like, oh, I'm the younger brother, but I'm the better brother now. But he was still a lot better than me at tennis. But that's kind of when we started to kind of get a lot more intense with our tennis. But then when we came when I came out of college, I kind of had to we had to get along, because we were traveling the world and being with each other 35 weeks of the year, sharing hotel rooms, because at that level, in the futures level, you don't get hotel rooms. You have to pay for your own hotel. So we're trying
expensive.
to keep the cost down. But then later on in when we got higher, we didn't have to share hotel rooms because the tournament would give you a hotel room each. So that's kind of when we had our own free space, and then we kind of relaxed a little bit more because we weren't living on each other's every move. So yeah, I would just say didn't really fight when we were younger. More on the tennis court when we were older. But once I matured, I kind of had to settle down and listen to him.
Yeah, you said before you were the younger but better brother, but do you think, like, remember
That's
that?
a great line.
But do you think like that, because he was older and he made you push and you could see the challenge and see what he was doing, helped you grow a little bit quicker?
Yeah, 100%.
Because
he was 6 years older. He was a lot stronger than me.
Exactly.
So I was always playing up to his level, while trying to get there. When he played with me, I wasn't as strong. He was able to hit through me a lot easier. So he wasn't getting much of a practice.
Yeah.
Whereas I was getting a lot better practices. Where, like in Liverpool, there wasn't really many people to play with at the time. There wasn't many people playing tennis. So to have the opportunity to play with a guy who was world ranked at the top of the game
every day
at a very young age, like when I was 6 years younger than him, it's an amazing opportunity for me. I should only learn day in, day out. But yeah, it was great to kind of have someone to look up to, and for it to be my brother, it was extra special.
They say, don't you? They say that if you want to be the best, you have to train like you're the second best to be the best. So you definitely had a good partner there, a good training partner.
Absolutely. And one of the things that interests me as well is that, you know, you're introduced to tennis because it's right at the back in your back door. You initially enter in as a pro and that sort of thing, and you've got this competition going with your brother and all the rest of it. But what was the conscious part about going to America and going to university in America? What was the decision making behind going there? Yeah,
so I think that's probably down to my parents. They first of all want us to have an education, because if tennis doesn't work out, then I didn't really have a lot of things to fall back on. Like a lot of the guys my age, they went pro at a very young age. They left school. They went pro at a very young age, and then for me, a lot of them burnt out by the time they were 22 because they were playing week in, week out, not having great success. And then I came out at a 22-year-old with a degree. I'd matured, I'd got stronger in the gym, played a lot of tennis in the States, and I was ready to go. I was fresh, and I wanted to kind of give it the best opportunity as best as possible. So that was kind of down to my parents, kind of keeping me grounded, sending me down the right path, and that's what they've done with me and Ken.
Yeah, that's good. What degree did you do?
Sports administration. It was one of the easiest ones.
Was it? Still, you got it. You got it.
So I mean, it was
in Louisiana, wasn't it?
Yeah, Louisiana State University. So I could have done a better degree, but it was more like I was going there for tennis.
Yes.
Yeah, you knew
I wanted to focus on the tennis and.
Was it a great sport in university in that sense? You know,
I mean,
great facilities, etc.
I would say it's probably one of the top 5 in the States to go to.
Really?
Okay. I mean, the American football team, their stadium's 102,000, which is incredible. I don't think there's a stadium in England that size. I mean, much bigger than Wembley. But yeah, it's one of those things. It was an eye-opener for me when I first went out there because I didn't really know too much about it. I visited once to see my brother when he played his last matches, kind of when he was a senior. But then going out there, all the facilities that they have is just second to none. It was nothing like we have here. They were giving me a degree. They were with me 24/7. They were giving me coaching day in, day out. Physio, gym work. So basically I was training like a professional, but in college. So it was the perfect stepping stone for me before going pro, and it's something that I'll look back on and try and get other people to do it, because I think a lot of guys, they go pro too early, especially at 18, they're very young, and for them to kind of travel the world by themselves, it's not easy. So yeah, I would say maybe go to college for 1 year. If you like it, then stay. And if you're too good for it, then come out of it. It's fine, and finish your degree later on. But I would say definitely experience college for at least 1 year.
So how do you even get a scholarship? How does it even come about?
Yeah, so basically it's a strange one really, because normally what the coaches do, they'll go to the junior Grand Slams, they'll look at your junior ranking or junior results. So basically under 18 level. So that's how they gave my brother a scholarship when he made the quarterfinals of Wimbledon, junior Wimbledon. They saw him playing, they offered him a scholarship, and basically he went to college for 5 years. I was a little bit different. I didn't play junior ITF tournaments, so basically on an international level. When I was younger, I was kind of regional. So the coaches didn't know who I was. Like from all the universities, they didn't know who I was. When I was asking for a scholarship, I'd email them all and they're like, we don't know who you are.
We haven't seen you.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know your results. We don't know your level. So luckily, the one time I did go to see my brother at LSU, I was practicing on one of the side courts out the way, and then one of the coaches luckily looked over and he was like, oh, he's pretty good. So, and they started to
He can as a ball.
So basically he said to Ken, oh, what's his plans in the future? And he was like, he wanted to go to college, but he's having no success with getting any scholarship. And he was like, we'll give him one. So basically, luckily it happened. They offered me a scholarship, and yeah, it was an amazing 4.5 years while I was there, and hopefully that I kind of repay them with my performances there.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm assuming not only did you get your degree and all the rest of it, is that where you met your fiancé as well?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah, well worked out.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
It's been spying on you. I'm joking.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Good reporter.
that's where we met. We met at LSU in 2010, and yeah, we've been together ever since.
Oh, good.
Still together, going strong.
But is she still over there at the moment?
Yeah. So she was an athlete as well. She played football or soccer, as they call it over there. Well,
Let's just get this out.
I hate saying soccer, but she played on the LSU team for a year, and then she stopped. She started to do nursing. I'm always going back to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but I'm always living out of a suitcase. It's difficult to kind of get back there as much as possible, but she comes on the road as much as possible as well.
Good.
But we do see each other quite a bit, but it could be a lot more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that's the nature of your sport, isn't it? As well, because I'm again doing a little bit of research. Is she a registered nurse? Is that what? Is that correct?
Yeah. So Cambri stalking there.
Yeah, Cambri's registered.
Don't be sliding into her DMs.
No. You're safe. You're fine. You're fine. But no, the reason why I say that is because she's got quite a responsible job. You're on the road all of the time. It must be trying to almost like have a schedule of when you can actually see each other and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think with her schedule, she has to do it like 3 months in advance as well. She only works nights, so it's even tougher for her. It's 3 nights a week, and then we try and work it where she works Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the week after she'll try and work later in the week, like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we've got like a 10-day gap in the middle where she can come to a tournament.
Yeah.
But yeah, it can be quite tricky, especially when she can only come like on the Thursday, and I could be like out of the tournament by then. So then all the travel arrangements have to change. She has to go somewhere else, and it can be quite tricky. But
you make it work.
And it's better that I'm doing a little bit better now, so I can
stay until the Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the Sunday.
Yeah, I can actually be there when she arrives.
We've asked a few people, and then we thought we'd keep it going. But when you did live back at home, what colour was your bin?
Purple bin.
See, I told you.
No, what was yours?
We're proper. Yours is brown.
Brown,
yeah. Mine's a maroon bin.
I'm not saying like we don't have other colour bins, but if you don't have a purple bin, or
yeah.
you haven't seen a purple bin, then
on social media it was getting very, very heated. People literally saying, "Oh yeah, you haven't got a purple bin. You're a wall. You're this. You're that."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was getting really heated on social media.
We're basically
with Natasha
saying
Jonas. With Natasha Jonas.
Yeah, I mean that's the clip that kind of springs out to mind. Looking on the Instagram page.
Yeah.
That was definitely the
so he's lying to us. He basically hasn't even got a purple bin. He just said, yeah.
He lives out of a suitcase. He doesn't have a bin.
Purple bin.
Take a little. You can get one of them miniature ones, can't you?
He takes one with him everywhere.
That's the only reason we really wanted you on the podcast, to see if you had a purple bin. Though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the only clip we're going. The only part of this we're going to use is this.
Double Wimbledon champion.
Double Wimbledon champion or purple bin. No, purple bin takes precedence over the top. One of the other things I was thinking about, Bianca, as well is do you eat scouse?
I'm not going to lie, right? I do have it, but my family are Italian,
Yeah,
aren't we?
exactly,
So
yeah.
I do make the odd scouse, but for me it's all about
Because
pizza.
I've never been a big fan, Neal.
Do you even know what scouse is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
He is from Liverpool. Come on, he is a scouser.
like-
He's got a purple bin.
The way you looked at me then, I thought,
I haven't had Scouse for probably 10,
I haven't,
15
I
years.
haven't.
Really? Yeah, because
Yeah.
I've never been a big fan of it. Because in our household years ago, it was always red sauce or brown sauce.
Yeah.
And for me, I was like, I'm not even having the scouse. Never mind
Yeah.
red sauce or brown sauce with it.
I think when I used to have it was red sauce, but I don't know why. I think it's just probably my
So
family.
it's not on
that-
the menu now. That's
No,
what you're
definitely
saying.
not on the menu anymore. But if it was on the menu, I don't mind it at all.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, so you'd rather have your
Same,
meatballs,
I'll
wouldn't you?
have pizza,
Meatballs
me,
and
I'll
pasta.
have
Yeah,
spaghetti
meatballs
and-
and
Yeah,
pasta.
spaghetti.
So
Garlic bread.
yeah, exactly. So looking ahead then, what's your ambitions? You said you're in the prime of your life when it comes to tennis. We've got Wimbledon ahead this year. Is your ambition realistically, is that to kind of almost try and dominate, to stay at world number one and to be as consistent as you can?
Definitely.
Win Wimbledon, but also clock up maybe the French. I mean, what are you like on clay, for example?
Yeah, I mean, at the start of the year, our goal was to win a Grand Slam.
Okay.
Don't really mind which one I get.
Okay.
Wimbledon,
All of them.
Wimbledon would be great. But yeah, I mean, we've got to world number one now. We want to stay there. But staying there is going to be about consistency.
Yeah.
Being at the top level. So just turning up to events week in, week out, putting the best efforts in. I mean, this year, a lot more teams have kind of trying to hunt us down, where last year we were the ones trying to get them.
Sure.
So there's a lot more pressure on us these days. People are playing a lot more freer against us. So we kind of got to get used to that. But it's a nice pressure to have, being at the top of the game, and it's something that we relish.
Yeah.
We'll get used to it. But yeah, we still got to put the effort in, got to work, still got to improve, because there's still things in our game that we want to get better at. And I think a few tweaks here and there, I think we can get across the line with other Grand Slam. I mean, the French would probably be Wes's perfect Grand Slam to win.
You like clay?
He likes the clay.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
He grew up on the clay. I didn't. I don't think there's any clay
Anyway.
anywhere around Liverpool.
No.
Anywhere
We
close.
need one for him
Yeah.
to practice,
This is
please.
the best I get.
Yeah.
I get an
The
orange
carpet.
carpet court. That's the closest I'm getting to a clay court here. But yeah, and then for me would be the achievement of Wimbledon would be an amazing thing for me. But yeah, it's not easy. At the start of the week, there's 64 teams that go into the event and want the same thing as you. So yeah, it can come down to a bit of luck here and there.
You make your own luck and you've made it. So.
Yeah, exactly. And then yeah, maybe next year competing at another Olympics in Paris. I had an unbelievable time in Tokyo for my first time, but obviously it was COVID year, so didn't really get to have the full Olympic experience.
Yes.
So hopefully I can do that next year. Not sure who I'll partner with yet, but whoever I do play with will obviously try and go for that gold.
Can you relate
Love
to that,
that.
Bianca, that 2021 Olympics was a bit flat?
Yes, definitely. I was speaking to you before off camera, and
Yeah.
I was saying, like, you probably didn't have the experience that what people are used to in the Olympics. Like, the Olympics is the time to go in the village. It's like a zoo. COVID time wasn't like that. I was saying I didn't even go to the village. I went to a hotel, fought, came home the next day, and that's not like an experience that you want to go through with it while it's your first Olympics. Obviously, being part of the Olympics and an experience is good enough alone, but I think the next one is going to be the good one, and hopefully we'll be both there going for gold together. So yeah, you'll see the proper Olympics.
Yeah, because we actually didn't go to the opening ceremony last year because we actually played the next day.
Yeah.
And obviously Tokyo, it was extremely hot.
Yeah.
And I heard like you stay in line for like 4 hours just standing up. It kind
Well,
of
I've actually never been either
you've
to
never
any
been?
of them, like
Yeah.
open or closed,
Really?
because we were at the beginning, then at the end. So we should make a
maybe
pact
next
to
year,
go
next year in Paris, yeah.
I think I was looking at the schedule.
Yeah.
Taekwondo's right at the end again.
Yeah, and
isn't
I'm
it?
at the end now.
Oh, is it?
So
Okay.
I've done well. We can go to the opening, and then I think I fight, and then the next day is the closing one. So
maybe we have to do
fight,
both.
Yeah, fight, win, gold, boom, out.
Well, the thing is, though, for me, I'm looking at it, because I've never been to an Olympics, and I'll never go to an Olympics and compete. There's an opportunity for both of you to come away potentially with a gold medal. Obviously, you need the right partner, etc. You need a little bit of luck on your side because you've got the ability. So is it excitement at this stage that we are kind of 18 months away from the Olympics and there's a potential gold medal for both of you if you want to compete for it?
I think, obviously we're always excited to go, aren't we? But it's still 18, but it's 18 months away still. The stuff that we want to do. I don't speak for you, but the stuff what we want to do before that is there's still major competitions and major Grand Slams, World Championships before that. So for me personally, I think about them, and then the more it gets closer, then you get more pumped up for it. But it's always in the back of your mind. You're doing all this for them competitions.
Is that the same for yourself as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's a strange one because I think the pinnacle of my sport is probably different to your sport.
Definitely.
Yeah. For me to win a Grand Slam would be for me to win Wimbledon or to win a gold medal would be pretty close.
Yeah.
But I think Wimbledon probably just take it over the edge just about.
Yes. Yeah.
But I mean,
100%. I know that the Olympics is our pinnacle for our sport, and for me, knowing tennis, you wouldn't even say the Olympics. You'd be you've got a professional higher level, so. You've done it. You've won it twice, mate. Don't worry. You've won Wimbledon twice. He's basically double Olympic champion, yeah.
And looking at slightly away from tennis as well, is the ambition a little bit further on? Because you and Ken have your own academy as well. Is that something which you'd want to continue? Obviously, continue now, obviously, because it's current, but obviously post-career as well. What's the thoughts and ambitions there?
Yeah, honestly, haven't really thought about after tennis.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah,
I just retire people.
He always ages people. Don't
after the
worry.
Olympics, I'm done. But yeah, I mean, Ken's doing a great job with the Skupski Doubles Academy at the moment. I kind of help when I can when I'm home. But yeah, it would be nice to kind of stay in a business with Ken, and hopefully trying to get the next generation, especially in Liverpool, to play tennis, because it is very difficult to try and get young people into tennis in Liverpool, because it's football or maybe rugby
or boxing or something like that.
They're the sports that scousers get into. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of talent in Liverpool where we could get tennis players, make them grow, and hopefully aspire to be either me or Ken, which sounds terrible. Well,
definitely.
sounds awful,
Definitely.
Big yourself up.
Yeah. Hopefully we can do that. Try and get the sport a bit bigger in this area, and see what happens. And if people can't do it in singles, we have the pathway to the sport's not over. You can play doubles, and you can have a very good career, like me and my brother have done. So yeah, hopefully people get into the sport and then they don't quit after playing singles. We want to see them playing doubles, carry on, and enjoy it.
You never know. You could open the first clay court.
Yeah.
You and your brother.
That,
Do you know what I mean? The Skupski business.
The Skupski Clay Doubles Academy.
Exactly. Have all different courts.
Yeah, we'll have little Spaniards and Italians coming
through.
Exactly.
Love it. Get some pizza there.
The thing is, it's very interesting you talk there about kind of inspirations, and I think if more people know about your journey, your story, they will be inspired by it. There wasn't really anybody before that, I don't think, who people could maybe look at realistically, because the social media age wasn't in full force. So, in terms of your own inspirations, who were they? Was it Tim Henman, Andy Murray, your brother? Who of the list of people?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm going to say my brother. He was a massive influence in my tennis career, and also my life growing up. But I would say with tennis, it would probably be at a very young age, Pete Sampras.
Yes.
Watching him at Wimbledon.
The original GOAT almost.
Yeah, and then moving on to Roger Federer.
Yeah.
So I kind of...
Yeah, the GOAT.
Yeah. So it would probably be them two, and then obviously you got Andy Murray being from the UK. I won't say England because
he won't like that one.
He'll be literally
UK.
in your
DMs
DM saying what on earth.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, getting to know him a lot more recently in the last few years, it's been amazing. He's a lot different off the court than he is on the court. He's so down to earth. He's very nice. He's a massive joker, and he loves his fancy football just like me. So it's I would say Pete Roger, and then obviously Andy in recent times.
I've got it's a sad story about Andy Murray.
What's
it's a sad story. So obviously in my past,
what have you done now?
Yeah, exactly. What have I done now? What has he done? That's probably more the point. In my previous past, I was a sports reporter for Radio Merseyside. 2009. Davis Cup was in the Echo Arena.
Oh, yeah, in Poland.
Ooh.
So I was there reporting on the event and what have you. I was there for 4 days, put in 4 requests to have an interview with Andy Murray, and I had 4 rejections from Andy Murray.
Yeah, but
So Andy, if you're watching this, you owe me an interview.
Yeah. I'm going to try to defend him now.
I was going to say that
Yeah,
you've probably
Don't
probably got
defend him.
haggled by everyone.
he's
Do you know what I
probably-
mean?
probably-
Don't you dare defend him.
Davis Cup's a very stressful week.
Yeah, it is.
And
and especially
for him, because I find it very stressful just playing doubles. He has to kind of play 2 singles and a doubles as well. So back in the day, a lot of pressure on him, and probably doing an interview here and there. Probably that's the last thing he probably wanted.
and you know what, right?
And you're
you
prodding
know
him
what?
like 4 times.
exactly,
Like,
yeah.
leave the
Have you
guy
got-
alone.
have you got a
I'm
purple
standing
bin?
there. I'm standing there waving like this, going, "It's you need to do the local radio."
Have you got a purple bin?
Yeah, have you got a purple bin?
In Scotland?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, but I think realistically, though, Great Britain lost the tie to Poland.
Yeah, they lost
3-2. So it was. I don't think it was the greatest week, and I think totally.
It's because my
with
brother
you.
wasn't picked. That's why.
That's correct.
Oh.
Yeah,
Exactly. It was. That was the missing piece
It was
of the
Ken,
jigsaw.
lads. It was Ken.
But I think you're totally right in saying that he was under pressure at the time. But Andy, you still owe me an interview.
We can try and get him on, even though he's not a scouser.
Yeah.
I'll,
Get him on
put a
Claim
good
him
word in.
adopted.
Yeah, exactly. He's an adopted scouser. He stayed overnight.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, I don't
That's
even know.
that's the tenuous link, right? We'll sort it out.
Yeah.
But you kind of look at the future for tennis, and you look at your future in tennis. Is it because doubles players can last, if you like, a little bit longer in the game, that you feel as though, I'm not retiring you just yet? You feel as though you can keep going.
There's a lot of guys still at the very top level at 40 years old. I think Rohan Bopanna he beat me in the final of Indian Wells, and he's the world record holder for the oldest person to win a Masters series now. I think I don't want to put years on him, but I think he's 42.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then last week in Miami, Santi Gonzalez, they beat us in the quarterfinals, and they went on to win it, and
I
he's
saw that,
40. So
Just shows age
shows
is just a number.
yeah, exactly. So a lot of the guys, they are getting better with age. People are taking the sport a lot more serious. If it's nutrition or in the gym, the body's they're lasting longer. And yeah, hopefully, if we were still here in 7 years' time and I'm 40 years old and still playing at the top of the game, I would love that, because it's
about desire, isn't it? Is that what you're saying?
it depends on if I stay fit, if I still have the same ranking.
Got the fight and everything.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be a few things, but if it was up to me, I'd still be playing. And yeah, it's an amazing thing to do: travel the world and play the sport that you love.
Yeah.
It's better than kind of doing a job 9 to 5, and it's something that I don't really want to do. But hopefully I don't have to do it.
Well, it doesn't feel like a job, does it? It
Yeah,
feels like
yeah, exactly.
you're
It's
just
like a hobby
going
or-
through.
yeah.
It's a passion, it's a
Yeah.
dream, and we'll do it as long as we can. But like you said, I think he does like to age us all, and the guests who are on the show. But age is just a number, I think, and I think we get into this age and like we're 30 and people are like, oh, you're getting on now, but it's like, well, no, I'm like physically matured, I'm mentally matured, I'm ready. And I heard that off Khabib once, saying it about his athlete, so I'm taking it all the way. So let's see how long we can go for.
Now, I know we're running out of time at the moment, but you're a big Liverpool fan as well, aren't you? As well, do you manage to keep? Because if you're in different time zones, that's going to be an absolute nightmare to keep a track of watching matches and all the rest
Watching
Not
of it.
really,
Derby
no.
and all
No?
that.
No,
Is it easy?
I'm watching all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so even in Australia, 3 a.m. in the morning, I am waking up to watch them.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
it was a lot easier when they were doing very well.
Yes, yeah.
to get
I
up and
understand.
watch. Obviously, recently they've struggled a little bit. But yeah, I
Yeah,
think
they're not as good now. Like they've had a bad season. Let's put it that way.
I think they'll be back as long as I think Jürgen, as long as he stays. Hopefully he does. I'm sure he will. I'm sure he'll recruit very well in the summer. I think he'll get a few guys in. Hopefully it gets a few guys that I want in. I won't say the names, but I think we all know.
I think one of them begin with J, is it? Yeah, and the surname B.
Yeah, that
and
would be
Steven
nice.
Gerrard, everyone was hoping he'd tap him up. Yeah, Jude Bellingham. Yeah.
That would be nice, but that's obviously we'll see in the summer, and I'm sure the lads they'll regroup because they've been non-stop and they've had a very good obviously few last seasons, then the World Cup, which was a bit strange in the winter. But yeah, they'll come back stronger, I think, and we'll win the league, win the Champions League, and then we'll have a big parade.
And I saw recently as well, you're a big golf fan as well, are you? Do you playing, watching?
Yeah, both. I mean, a lot of the tennis guys, that's what they do. They'll play golf somewhere in the world on their off days, because especially in the States, it's very easy. Get in a cart, nice weather.
Yeah.
Play a few holes, and then go for dinner in the evening before playing the match the next day.
It's the perfect lifestyle, isn't it?
Yeah. No, he's living the dream, isn't he?
It's a little bit tougher. Like in England, the weather's not as great. Normally, I have to walk the courses.
And we haven't got a court somewhere as nice as that.
Yeah. So there's a lot of beautiful courses around the world, and I try and obviously watch the likes of Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy all the time, and then you got the big events coming up. So.
Sounds like you do all the sports. So next time you come home, you can play Taekwondo, compete. I'll teach you.
Never done that.
But
yeah,
let's get him down there.
Get me out there.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll come Wimbledon for the tennis. You can come my gym in Manchester.
We'll set this
That's a deal.
We'll set this up definitely. Yeah. And just to finish, you travel the world. You hardly ever home, but. Does that Liverpool, does that scouser within you always travel with you, and if you understanding who you are, where you're from, being proud of being from Liverpool, from Merseyside?
100%, yeah. I mean, everywhere I go, I'm telling everyone I'm from Liverpool. They always like, oh, you got an amazing football team. Oh, the Beatles. When you go to America. Yeah, so I try and tell them as much as possible about Liverpool. I'm very proud, and I try and come back as much as possible. Once I'm done with tennis, I'll be living here full time, and very proud of the city and what it does.
Will Cambri, get your accent back.
Yeah, will Cambri come over with you, do you reckon?
She got no choice. She better. Yeah, that's the plan. So if
you just heard it now,
if
not, then
if she didn't know before,
yeah,
she
you're
knows
in trouble
now.
when you get
exactly. Yeah, this is going out to the world.
Yeah,
and
you can send her in the direct message. This one,
exactly.
Yeah, send her this clip that she's coming to Liverpool.
She's coming to Liverpool. She's gonna have to go up the good weather and the lifestyle to come over to here to the rain and the cold.
Football, not soccer.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Well, it's been wonderful having you on the podcast today. Hopefully, you've enjoyed it as well. And Bianca, I think we can definitely say it's been an honour to have a double Wimbledon champion on.
No, it's been unreal. Thank you for coming on the show. Yeah. You've been fantastic, and I wish you all the best. And let's stay world number one.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on. It's been a great day, and hopefully you can come on again at some point later on in maybe a year's time, when you're obviously massive on the podcast pose. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, though, if we have a triple Wimbledon champion on, you know what I mean? Yeah. I can then say the word triple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That'd be nice, but hopefully it's the men's doubles this time.
Yeah,
imagine if you two went and did that. Absolutely fantastic.
We'll come and watch. You'll be supporting you all the way, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much for being a wonderful guest today. Thank you.
No, thanks for having me on.
Thank you.